welcome back to Lovebug Tarot. So we're doing our week ahead reading. So yeah, we're going to be using our grid. We have our Sassy Affirmation deck, and then we have our clarifiers with our tarot deck, and also our Nordic and Celtic runes. So we'll be putting those to the side for now, as well as our deck. Okay, so we're just going to kind of dive in. This is the week ahead. This is going up on the winter solstice of this year, even though if you come across this, it's any week ahead. But the solstices they're like turning points in the year, in the seasons as well. Winter solstice if you're in the northern hemisphere, I should say. Summer solstice if you're in the southern hemisphere. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. All right, so what is the affirmation for this week? Because we're gonna kind of be tapping in a little bit to the solstice energy, whether this is you're watching this when it goes up or in the future, but we're seeing this one. A turning point, something changing. So we're gonna see how that energy sits. And we're just gonna put this right here for the moment. And we're gonna get into our grid. If you're not familiar with this deck, this is a Russian divination deck, and it is square. And you use the entire deck, which is why the camera's back so far, because it lays out in a grid. So you'll kind of see what I mean. And then it's a manner of like playing match with pictures as they come up. So what is coming in the week ahead? We're kind of tapping in a little bit, I think, to this like solstice energy. So what's changing? What's turning? What's coming in? Maybe even what's coming out. We shall see. I like doing the week ahead because with this deck especially, it's pretty thorough, I will say. Come on, get in there. Oh, come on. Does not. Get in there. There we go. Get it. Oh, okay. So let's lay out our first row. Try to get it pretty even. So as we line these pictures up, if you're not familiar with this deck, like these two colors match, but the pictures don't match. And then depending on, ooh, interesting. We have the stallion. You can see that this picture is upside down. So each picture has a general meaning, but depending on how it's oriented, will give the picture more nuance to what's going on. So you got two. We have a Celtic rune and a Norse rune. We have Rytho. I do my best. Pronunciation is not my strong suit. But this is the rune of movement, of journey. And interesting as well, we have the stallion here, which its general meaning, I know most, I would say, the general meaning. The more nuanced stuff, I'll get the book. But it's interesting with the stallion because the stallion is kind of a tower energy where it's like this disruption. It's like Hagalaz, the tower. The stallion in this deck is very disruptive, which is interesting. So we also have the Celtic rune for strength and endurance. I'll try to keep reading to the minimum. I always put the timestamps if you just want to jump straight to when I just start reading in the description. But sometimes things pop up. And more so, yeah, that lines up. More so for myself, I try to voice them so I can remember them later. Nope. And then I always take some time, again, at the end I'll take some time to stare deeply in the deck, and I'll cut it out, just to see if I missed anything, because it happens. And sometimes I'll be in the middle of a read, and still spot something. So here we have the dagger, which, excuse me. All right. Oh, two again. Two Norse runes. We've got Awaz. Interesting. Okay, because Awaz, the each rune kind of has a symbol, I guess it's associated with. Some of them are symbols, some of them are concepts, but there's usually like a word associated. And Awaz, its association is the horse. And again, we have the stallion up here. So if this picture was to move, it would be in, this is the second position. So we'll keep that here so I remember that those two match up. Okay, and then we have, I always forget the name of this, it's for protection. Awaz. Awaz? No, that was Awaz. This is going to drive me nuts. Well, it's the rune of protection. It's the rune of protection. There's also support as well. So there's definitely something big coming, I would say. However, as big as this is, as disruptive as this could be, there's also this underlying, like, protection movement. There's, again, that strength and endurance. Like, something is propelling you forward. All right. Again, sometimes I can't help myself. We just talking as it comes in. All right, nothing there, no mess. We've got, nope, boys over there. Yep. Okay. Third row. Nope. Nope. Okay. Oh my god, I have a song stuck in my head and it will not stop. If anybody's familiar with K-pop Demon Hunters, it's just, it's a problem. Very catchy. Anyways. Ooh, okay, we have the bear. Okay, anybody else? Nope. Those, they have to be directly next to each other. I don't see. Okay. All right. A rune for the bear. Ooh, we got one. Ooh, word. The blank rune. It's a rune of possibilities. Of, like, anything can happen. Including burping. Never fails. Ooh, okay. We have the clover. We love to see the clover. We adore the clover. The clover is great. It is, ooh, all right, so we have one, shelter, magic, and health. That's a Celtic rune. But yes, clover is an excellent picture to get during the read. No, there. Nope. Okay. I was like, the mountains were somewhere close by, but it's catty corner. That's the snake. Scythe. Nope. Alright, the lily, the handshake, crane, and the dog. Nope. Ooh. Nope, that's across there. Ooh, oh, nope, there it is one. Anybody here? Okay. Alright, so we got two again. Both Celtic runes, and we have transformation, power, persuasion, and communication. Interesting that transformation comes with the anchor. I wonder if something is changing, like where you drop anchor is coming to mind. Like, how do I express this? Think of it like a ship. that's like found a safe harbor, like where you put down roots in a way, but instead it's like the anchor is the metaphor, where you weigh anchor. We'll see. We'll see as more information comes in. I have a hair poking me in the face. Okay, you got the clover and the horseshoe. So, like, there's definitely... Oh, and the angel. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? There is some energy, very juxtaposition, kind of like there's some big upheaval happening, but you have the clover, the horseshoe, the angel. There could be something going on with like divine timing. All right, so horseshoes got 2 Celtic runes. We've got intensity, passion, radiance, and growth. And 2 more Celtic runes. Okay, we have earth, the body, wound, and healing. And the apple. Wow. Okay, these are all clustered very close to each other. Okay. Getting kind of the sense that these could be different instances happening. Like these 3 could all be linked. These 2. Everything, of course, is linked. In its own way. Just kind of fascinating. Okay, and we have Kanaz. Rune of Illumination. Kanaz is like insight, illumination. It's this rune symbolizes like a torch. You can almost think of like a torch in the darkness, like something being illuminated. Okay, let's see. Nope, that's... Nope. It's like, nope. And... Okay, so actually we do have the last card. You always read the last card. You read all of the pictures on the last card. In this case, we do have... Nothing up here. Okay. We do have one picture also matching on the last card. And it's also in the... You read all of the images here in their upright position. This one is already upright. So we'll see what that's going on with that. Okay. We have Othilla. Rune of, like, can be property, but also legacy. And then we have Ingus for... I'll read this picture with both of these, and then these 3. We'll use this one. Ingus is, again, a very grounded rune. I almost see it's like a seed. This also can mean balance, because you can see the little offshoots coming off either end. Something growing, something productive. Okay. All right. So, enough digging into that. I'm going to take a minute and stare deeply into this and try to see if I missed any pictures matching up. Again, sometimes I do. Typically, I catch them even if it's later on in the read. So we'll figure it out from there. But for now, we're going to take a moment, and I'll be right back. Okay, I think we're good. There's no good. my desk is only so big. All right, let's just... Pardon me, we'll just put this down here for now. And this section is going to be future me problem. Probably regret saying that. Anyways, we're going to start at the top. We're going to start with number 39, our horse. There we go. Right. Oh, nope, I lied. Almost forgot our affirmation card. It says it says listen. I'll let you figure it out. It says listen. Exercise to honor what your body can do, not because you feel guilty. Ooh. Interesting. Exercise to honor what your body can do, not because you feel guilty. This could be very literal for some of you. Like maybe, yeah, like there's like a physical routine that is exercise, and it's like instead of trying to like guilt yourself into it, there's a message here of, you know, do it for you, do it for your body, do it to kind of feel those good, what is it, the endorphins, or it's like the good chemicals that are released, you know, while you exercise. You know, do it, but don't do it because you feel guilty. You know, it's like, oh, I didn't do it yesterday, so I have to do it twice today kind of thing. It's like, no, it's okay. You know, there's definitely some balance, message of balance here, some moderation. I feel like for the read, and we'll see what the messages are in here, but I'm getting the sense that it's like what I think I said earlier, like a routine, like a physical routine that you do. And do it because you love it, not because you feel obligated to. So that's interesting. All right, we're going to put that to the side for now. I'm sure it'll pop up in here somewhere. You never know. It's always interesting how this all ties together. I sure as heck don't know at this point. And sometimes even at the end of the read, I don't know. Because the message is not for me. It's for other people. Because this is a read for the community. Okay. So, our stallion, our horse. The general symbol is emotional upheaval. I can talk. In its fourth position, the phrase here, and again, this whole book I'll do my best to translate. It's very flowery in its language sometimes. However, the phrase is pretty straightforward. It says, your feelings will be trampled upon. And I'm wondering, again, we have the dagger here. And the dagger, I believe... Let's take a look-see. 39 and 49. How interesting. All right, let's go to 39 and let's take a peek at 49 real quick. Yeah, because the dagger's general meaning is a hidden assault. In its second position, it says, you will escape danger due to the concern of a friend, or an ally in this case. So again, we do have the protection rune here. Whatever this, again, emotional upheaval, this kind of, again, I don't feel there's like a threat to your physical being. However, don't go walking out into oncoming traffic just because, a tarot read says like, I think you should be fine. Like, please use discretion. Please discretion and common sense. Again, you can look at it as this read is for entertainment purposes. Regardless of, goodness, this emotional upheaval, the horse is, again, something I feel unexpected. And because we also had the dagger here, and we had Awaz, which is, Awaz can, again, this is the symbol for horse, but it's also teamwork and partnership. There could be something in your journey here happening where someone's true intentions are revealed. Someone's motives, intentions, like something is revealed that is upsetting. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's upsetting. However, if this, okay, I'm trying to think of an example. If it was a job situation where you were in a team, let's say for simplicity's sake, it's like you and one other person. It's you and this other person. And like there's a manager, but it's you and this other person working closely together. This is something where they either downplay your contribution to the project, they try to take credit for your part of the work. Like they do something they do something awful. They do something awful without consideration to you or your feelings. There's no like physical harm, but it's definitely hurtful. Like, that's not okay. And it's like this person either was playing nice or putting on a facade of like, oh yeah, we're like the best, we're the dream team, we can do anything. And then they pull this kind of BS. However, those schemes are caught. And I have a feeling it's like a manager or someone else steps in and is like, they're found out pretty quick. Because it's like if someone's trying to claim your work, again, we're using that example, that metaphor, someone trying to claim your work, and they're like, okay, explain your process. And they can't because they never did the work. It's your work. And so they're kind of like, caught red-handed, and they kind of have to fess up. So it's one of those, like, again, the stallion has that tower, that Hagalaz, which is the Norse rune of this big change, this shift, this upheaval, emotional upheaval is the horse. However, we also have Rytho, which is the journey. We do have other strength and endurance. It's like this is something that is hurtful, but it's not something that is ending to you or your career. Again, if we're using the job example, which is just an example, maybe it does relate to someone. I don't know. Only you know. But in this case, you are protected. And it's not, it's interesting because we have these two runes can also be teamwork in different ways. So it could be if we were kind of broadening that scope where it was like you and a team, you and a bunch of people, and one person is kind of revealed to be not so great in their dealings. It's like, don't turn yourself off from trusting those other members of your team. Don't, just because this happened with this one individual doesn't mean that like the entire project is scrapped. All of your work is for nothing. You can still move forward. You can still rely on your trusted people around you and heal from that. Because strength and endurance here as well, we're going to get some cards, but the phrase that's coming in is like, this is not your first rodeo. Pardon the horse pun, rodeo. That was unintentional, but it just came out that way. This is not your first rodeo with people kind of doing this underhanded BS. You are a person who is just like, oh, okay, all right, and can move on. And it's not to say you don't hold people accountable. I feel you do. Yeah, there's definitely some accountability here. So can we get some clarifiers, please? Because it's interesting you had the dagger in that position where it's, you are saved in time, if you will. Again, with protection and teamwork. 6 of Wands. Ooh, okay. Yeah. Ooh, excuse me. This could be even a motive. You are very good in what you do. And this motive from this kind of like your feelings being trampled on, it's a reflection of the other person. It is not a reflection of you. This could be stem from jealousy. This could stem from their own lack mentality. It could be a lot of different things. It could even be comments of you succeeding and that person's like, well, yeah, but, and then they say something, it's like, oh, but it won't last. Or this is temporary. Or, something where it's like, they could try to brush it off as like, hey, I'm just trying to give you advice and help you out. And it's like, no, you're projecting your own insecurities in this case. 2 of Pentacles. And this could even be something where, yeah, it's like you are successful. You are good at what you do. And in a way, especially with the Six of Wands, and you do have these other, they're very much, I feel like there's other people around you, Two of Pentacles, that help balance this out, that have your back, really do have your back in this particular instance. Five of Wands. Yeah, this could very much stem from jealousy, because this other person sees you as competition, even if there's none. It's like, no, the whole team wins kind of thing. You know, if it's, you could use a sport analogy. Like, if the team wins, the team wins. It's not like the team wins and then one person is the winner. Like, no, it's a team effort. So, but for some reason, this person could see you as competition. Or perhaps it's a very competitive field, and you are being very successful in that competitive field where this other person perhaps isn't, or, you know, at once had aspirations to be successful in this field, but either didn't make it or gave up. And, you know, that again, projection on them, not on you. I'm kind of reading these two together. And the Four of Wands. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think there's like a time limit I can cuss. Anyways, as shitty as this arrangement is, because it's not okay. It is not okay for your feelings to be trampled on. It is not okay for someone to take out their anger, frustration, or insecurities on you. It is not. And I will counter that also by saying there are other people around you who have your back, who will step up and walk this journey with you. Not against you, not, you know, trying to walk behind you or in front of you, but walk next to you. And these are the people who celebrate you. And I have a feeling, as shitty as this situation is, you will have reason to celebrate. You have the Six of Wands and the Four of Wands. Those are big party success cards, you know, and that could also be, again, talking about like that person's motivation or the situation. Doesn't necessarily have to be a person. Okay, so that is, whew, it's going to be an interesting week for you. But there's more, and we still haven't gotten to, this looks like an excellent corner. We have a horseshoe, so I'm like, even if the week kind of starts off kind of crapper, that is not to say it is not a permanent situation. This is not in any means like long term. I have a feeling it will be something that like happens and then is immediately dealt with. All right, number 15, Zabar. Nope, too far. And back too far. There we go. Back. Okay, so the bear's general meaning is work and effort with good results. Which, again, we were kind of talking about, the example I was using like was like career. So this could definitely be in your physical life. Excuse me, your physical resources, your physical reality. So in its second position, it says, your efforts will bear fruit. I wonder if they meant that pun. That is actually verbatim in the book. Your efforts will bear fruit. Considering how flowery this book is in its language sometimes, I don't think they did, but it's there anyways. So we do have word. We have, it's the blank rune, and it's the unexpected. It's the unknown. It's endless possibilities. So whatever efforts you've been putting into your work, I feel like there is like a success up here, as that is. But things are coming to fruition. It's a start, and the word is interesting to get because it's like it's a start of something new, and the possibilities are endless. It's really about what you do going forward. So, any clarification on our bear, like or advice, clarification? Four of Cups. Okay, something again, this unexpected energy. and an ace as well. Aces are the beginning of the suits and typically are like an upswell of energy, but don't necessarily have a focus or direction to go in. So, yeah, like, things are coming to fruition. And it's like, I feel like you're going to be handed something and you're like, oh my God, what do I do with this? Like, I could do anything. You know, like, again, the possibilities are endless. And it does come from your hard work. With the Hanged Man here, I feel like the message is, you know, to not get overwhelmed. And if you're trying to figure out, like, what to do with this upswell of energy, these ideas, these, you know, maybe you have plans, you have, you know, like, you have all these ideas, and it's like, oh man, which one do I do first? The Hanged Man is definitely one of getting still. Taking a moment to get still and see things from multiple different points of view. You know, take a step back, look at the big picture. It's one of the major arcanas. Actually, I'm going to put this on the other side. Come here. Come here. I'm making a mess. Do I want to do that? For some reason, I do. I'm just... Again, very impulsive just to move the cards over here, so... Maybe, again, looking at things from a larger perspective of maybe considering things from a different point of view. Moving your cards around, if you're using that metaphor of, like, your physical resources, you know, how do you move those things around? I just got the image of, like, sitting down with some, like, 305 cards or little flashcards and, like, writing down different aspects of your physical resources or your goals or, you know, your ideas. Again, the Ace of Swords. And, like, putting them out and kind of plotting, or in a journal, but, like, basically kind of writing everything down. Again, getting still, writing everything down and kind of taking stock of, like, okay, what's maybe higher priority? What's going to take the longest? What needs time to grow? I don't know. That might be relevant for somebody. Okay, so eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We'll start over here with number 2 with our clover. Oh, that went back to the front. There we go. And the clover is the symbol for luck. So in its second position, it says happiness slightly clouded by a misunderstanding, which is as clear as mud. For the most part, we have to just sift through the mud. We'll get to the water. So let me see here in the book. What does it say? Happiness is the ultimate good, but it can't be achieved by itself. We get it from having health, wealth, knowledge, friendship, and virtue. The achieving of any one of these leads to happiness, but if we pursue only one aspect, such as wealth, and not the others, then we cannot attain happiness. Ooh, interesting. And this rune here is shelter, magic, and health. It was just talking about, like, shelter, health, wealth. So you coming into a success, a boon of some kind, and we were talking about, like, looking at all of your physical resources. So it could be that one of your resources, one aspect of that is taking off. That could be changes in your finances. That could be changes in your career. That could be a changing in housing. It could be a myriad of different things. Is to not maybe get trapped or hyper-focus on just one. Again, the 4 of Cups here is like, don't focus on just the 3 cups. Don't forget you have that 4th cup. Look at all of the resources. So if, let's say your finances are suddenly doing extremely well, it's like, don't forget other aspects of your life. Don't forget your spiritual side. Don't forget your emotional side. Don't forget your mental side. Like, don't forget your mental health. Like, all of these things are going to be very important as, as your fortune unfolds. Sure, we'll go with that. I'm just going to trust that came out, and it came out for somebody. I sometimes have no idea what I'm talking about. Actually, that's most of the time. Okay. Ooh, 3 of Swords. Yeah, don't ignore your emotional health. Don't ignore the heartbreak. And this could also stem from what has happened up here. We were talking about, like, it's going to happen. It's, you know, things happen, but, you know, people are held accountable. The situation moves on. And I remember saying earlier about, like, you moving on, but don't forget to process those emotions that hurt. And it could also be emotions of the past, heartbreak of the past. Again, your physical, you have, like, you can look at it as like you have multiple bodies. You have your physical body, your spiritual body, your emotional body, and your mental body. If one of those is out of sync, if one of those is struggling, it affects the rest. So it's very important as things change, is like, make sure you take care of yourself. Page of Cups. Yeah. There's definitely going to be an emotional side to this that you, okay, will need to pay attention to. Another 5. Wow. And the 5 of Cups. You'll need to process things, and what those things are is going to be very specific to an individual. And just because you've had, even in your recent past here, or in your long-term past, you've had heartbreak before, you've had, you know, however that heartbreak looks for you or looked for you, don't let it stop you from being open to new opportunities or new connections emotionally. Again, and the 5 of Cups is very much about that grieving process. Anything else there? Okay, with the Knight of Swords. Okay. The Knight of Pentacles. Okay. I was going to say, if we have another knight, I'm going to be like, what the heck? And the 9 of Cups. Wow, okay, so you have one of the fastest knights in the deck and the slowest knight in the deck. The phrase, as things speed up, make sure to slow down, is coming in. So this upheaval that's happening here, these changes that are taking place, make sure, again, to take time for yourself. Make sure to balance out that shelter, your health, and magic here could also be something of your spiritual side as well. Like, don't forget those other aspects of yourself. As that, you know, luck comes into play, that fortune, I don't feel it's with the bear, because the bear was like hard work. So I feel like this luck, big air quotes here, is, for other people, it might look like luck, it might look random, but this is something you've been working on. This is something that's been in the works for quite some time. And it's something that is, the 9 of Cups is a wish card. This is like wishes coming true. It's fulfillment. You know, it is emotional fulfillment as well. And the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. So there's, especially the Knight of Pentacles, you know, it's finding that steady progress forward. Yeah. As things speed up, make sure to slow down. And in a way, because of that, you know, finding that equilibrium, processing that grief of the past is going to lead you to some amazing things as well. Oh, I almost missed this. All right, 35. Nope, this way. And keep going. Keep going. One more. Okay. So the anchor. The anchor can be a stability or a hindrance. It is in the third position. Disillusionment with the ideal. Doubts. Interesting. Let's take a look-see. It says, you don't know if you have chosen the right place to put your anchor down. This card often comes up if you have problems with a situation or have reached an impasse. I wonder if you're struggling with imposter syndrome. It's like you're having doubts about this transformation. Because again, we have the runes here for transformation, power, persuasion, and communication. So they're even with power and persuasion as well. It's like not only there could be these big shifts in your financial realm, but also in like, because of the financial shifts, you also have more sway. You know, if you're going back to that work situation, it could be a promotion happening, and because of that, you have more say over like what happens, how things happen. And sometimes when those opportunities come in, there can be like, is this right? Like, did they choose the right person? Like this imposter syndrome kind of happens. Okay. Yeah. Let me get some clarification and guidance, please. So, Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is a card of like work, mastery, again with the bear. So this is, and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. This is definitely something to do with your physical resources as it pertains to your work, what you do for money. Could even be a hobby, like something you do in that capacity. You're reaching levels of mastery, and sometimes that can be a kind of fickle word as well. Like, I'm going to use a personal example for this, but I actually went to school. I went to art school. I went to a college at art school. I went on a scholarship. I got a master's in fine arts, but it still took me several years to call myself an artist because I felt as if I was being very pretentious, calling myself an artist, but that's what I was. It's what I did. It's what I physically did for years. Decade even. Possibly more. I'm not going to count those. I'm not going to count those years. You know, so it's like if, you know, because I felt a bit of that imposter syndrome. So it's, if you're not sure, it's, I'm getting the sense that they're saying like, no, this is exactly where you're supposed to be. You know, this is a seed that you have planted and is now growing, this Ace of Pentacles. And it's like, yes, I feel like you've gotten to a level of mastery, but you're holding, with the ace here, I feel like you're holding a beginner's mindset as well, which is a wonderful thing to have, you know, especially when it comes to this, because that means you're open to learning. You're opening to continue to grow. You are not, you're open to more, even more opportunities for growth. Ooh, excuse me. So yeah, super positive message with that. You know, imposter syndrome, legit, valid. But I definitely feel the cards are saying like, you don't not that like, oh, you don't have to worry about that, kind of like brush it off, you know. It's, you don't have to let yourself fall into that mindset. You can acknowledge it. You can be like, I understand where it comes from. You can process it and let it go. You know, you easier said than done. I know, much easier said than done. But this is an excellent place to weigh your anchor. Okay, so now we have this fun little cluster down here. Okay, so how am I gonna do this? My little marking stones. I mark the edge of the grid with the stones sometimes because, there we go, that'll work. I'll do that. Wait, this one's here. Sure. Just to make sure I don't go outside of the camera frame. Okay. 28. We'll start with the horseshoe. Keep going. There we go. So the horseshoe is a symbol for success, which is fantastic because we have the Celtic runes for intensity, passion, radiance, and growth. And we were just talking about, things growing. So this is in the third position. And it says, your desire will be fulfilled. Again, very flowery in its language. So these goals, these dreams that you have, what you've been working towards, is going to grow. We were talking about like something starting with the Four of Cups here. Like it's something even maybe a little unexpected. Even if it's something you've been working on, maybe it's like the way it comes about is unexpected. And I love that you got intensity and passion. Like this is definitely something you are passionate about. And growth and radiance, like it's the horseshoe. Like, shoot, you can't, I don't think you can get much clearer than that. Ooh, we have the moon. Okay. Not sure how we're going to do this. We're going to do our best. Something that's been maybe even growing under the surface for a while. Like you've been putting a lot of effort in, but not necessarily seeing results in the 3D world, in your physical reality. Something you feel very deeply about too. Wow, okay, you got the moon and the hermit. You got two majors. Put that there. Very similar color scheme as well. Very green. For some reason, I'm getting the sense of like a heart chakra. Something that is, again, very close to you, like who you are. It's very personal to you. The hermit is like it's a very personal internal card. Okay. I'm going to keep going with the images because, again, I feel like these three are kind of connected in this particular case. So number 37 is angels. Angelis. Angels. Lots of angels. So it is a symbol of a guardian angel, or you can think of it as your spirit guides, your higher self, your ancestors, like a spiritual or divine presence protecting and guiding you. So in its first position, it's a bright, wished-for happiness awaits you. Which is awesome. Like, a bright, wished-for happiness. Again, these wishes, this 9 of Cups, like what you've been working towards awaits you. And we have the 2 runes for the body, the earth, and wound healing. As this comes to fruition, I'm very much getting the sense that what you've been working towards, perhaps in your mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects, is now going to start reflecting in the physical world, in your physical reality, in your physical body. A very earthy, grounded rune. And this could be in your resources, your finances, your health, your actual body, and the wound healing as well. We had up here like this message of with the cups and the 3 of swords, of like processing grief, taking time for, other aspects, even if one in particular is rapidly expanding or rapidly growing, like taking moments to make sure that the rest of you is also taken care of. And there can also be something in this big expansion, this growth, that in itself is healing. There's something to be said if you've been working on a project a long, long time, you've been working towards a goal, and suddenly you reach that goal, you hit it, the project is complete, as an example. Especially if you've struggled a lot or you've had a lot of struggles associated with that, there can be something very validating and something very healing about that. So that could also be the case. Okay, can we get any clarification or guidance on this one? The Knight of Cups, a lot of knights. Do we have any other knights? It's the Knight of Wands. That's okay. All right. Okay, Knight of Cups. And the Five of Swords. This is something you deserve. And every time your brain pops up, again, this is like, this message here is like, don't think away because you feel it's an obligation or because you feel it's guilty. Like, know that it's because of you and because you're worth it. The Knight of Cups, I'm very much feeling, it's the Knight of Cups and the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords, you know, it can be hard sometimes, especially if you're dealing with imposter syndrome, to feel like you are worthy of something. Even if it is something you've been working on really, really hard, when it actually happens, it can be so hard to actually accept. It's like, yes, this has happened because of my hard work and I deserve it. It's not to downplay anybody else's achievement, not to downplay anybody else's involvement. You can honestly look at yourself and say, like, you know what? Yes, I do deserve that recognition, or I do deserve that promotion. Yes, I do. And it's not to say other people don't. It's I hope I'm making sense. and part of that, you know, acknowledging that, again, easier said than done, can be part of this healing process for you. With the Knight of Cups as well, very much a message of like treating yourself with grace, keeping, you know, healing your heart in many ways too. 'Cause you're worth it. Heck yeah. Oh, what did I drop? Oh, hold on. My carnelian dropped down there. Carnelians are can be associated with courage, so that could also be a little message there. Okay, number 6, the apple. The apple is in the 4th position. Interesting. With Kanaz, the rune of enlightenment. Okay, so the apple in its general term is, or the general meaning for apple is an encounter. In its 4th position, it says an unpleasant occurrence in the near future. I get the sense in this, it's kind of talking about yourself. You're talking here about, you know, that imposter syndrome and kind of having to confront yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You know, there could be other aspects that you're going to have to kind of come to terms with. You're going to have to kind of like wrestle those little brain goblins into submission. Easier said than done, I know. And Kanaz here is it's the torch, it's the enlightenment. It's like illuminating. It's illuminating these things. So it could be that part of this encounter that you have is with you. Okay, I'm going to get more clarification on that because that's ominous. Okay, can we get some clarification on that? Is that... Okay. We were talking earlier, I was giving the example of like it took me a long time, even though I went to school for and worked in a profession, a very professional capacity as an artist. Like it took a long time for me to call myself an artist. It is not egotistical to call yourself the thing that you do, whether it is an artist, a writer, you know, if it's something in the creative industry, if you are an actor, if you are a musician, if you are a singer, if you are a content creator, you know, if you do something in that capacity, like I'm not saying don't, like you can't, again, every time you kind of try to reprogram those brain goblins, you try to wrestle with those brain goblins and be like, it feels like you have to constantly scold them and put them back in their corner. And it can be exhausting. Seven of Wands. Okay. You may need to set up those kinds of boundaries with yourself. And understand that, like, this is not an egotistical thing. You can simply state the fact. So let's say you are an author. You know, it's not pretentious to call yourself that. If you write, you're an author. That's okay. You know, so there could be, again, it's the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands too. Something to do with your passions. And also could be something even to do with you spiritually. There could be actions you need to take to kind of illuminate what those are. We have a person here in meditation, so this could be like guiding you to take some time to meditate on these aspects of yourself. You know, if these changes are occurring, and this could even be residual for what happened up here with this person, you know, this person or situation that was ugly, was not kind, you know, where your feelings were trampled on. You know, did you take anything here? Did you accidentally take it to heart? You know, was it a subconscious thing? You know, taking that time to reflect on it, to meditate on it, to, even if it is talking to a mental health professional, a counselor, a trusted friend or colleague, to be like, I need to sort this out. And the apple here, I get this, you know, I think of like apples, I think of teachers. So if you have a spiritual teacher or a guide or a mentor of some capacity, doesn't have to be spiritual, you know, you have someone there who can kind of help you work through that, especially when if it pertains to yourself and your growth, because that kind of self-doubt could hinder. Oh, here's the other knight. You have all the knights. You have all the knights. You got every single knight in the deck. You know, I lost my train of thought. Anyways, with the Knight of Wands, again, Wands, King of Wands, Seven of Wands, Knight of Wands. This is a very kind of, the Moon here, this inward journey. The Moon and the Hermit too. Things are changing. And this is kind of an overlook of the board. Like, things are changing. As things change, a lot of times there is an upheaval, an emotional upheaval, for good or for challenging reasons. A change can bring up a lot of things. It can, you know, things that you thought were settled in the past can be brought up again. You know, so give yourself the grace that there may be some things that come up this week that you need time to work through. You know, so if it is FaceTiming with, you know, a trusted friend and being like, hey, I just need to vent. I just need a kvetch. I need to, you know, I need to talk, you know, for a while. Or if you have a therapist or a counselor, a mentor, you have someone that can help kind of illuminate maybe even the core of what's going on here. It's interesting. We also have the Heart as well. We have the Heart and a lot of messages with the Cups over here. There could be some healing also going on with, I say, partnerships and relationships. Not necessarily in a romantic capacity. This could be partnerships platonic. This could be partnerships in friendships, in work capacities, but your trust and interaction with other people could be something that is also coming up, and also healing as well. Again, going back to here, this, like, doing things to honor yourself and to honor your process, not because you're doing it out of a sense of obligation or guilt, but doing it because you are worth it. That's like going into, as an example, just using an example, like going into a therapy session because it's an obligation. This is what I'm supposed to do. It's like, that's great and wonderful, got you through the door, but remember that therapy and change can really take place. Or, sorry, let me try to put those words in order. Therapy can facilitate change in a positive direction, but it's more effective, at least, and this is my personal opinion, it's more effective when it comes from a place of knowing that you are worth it. This King of Wands. Knowing that you are absolutely worth that positive change. Okay, so we're going to do the heart, and then I'm probably going to move this card to the middle so we can kind of put cards all around it. Welcome to the chaos of the grid. It's absolute chaos. All right, number 24 is the heart, and it is also in the upright position, which is wonderful because the heart is the symbol for love. However, it's, again, can mean romantic love, doesn't necessarily. So in its upright position, it's your happiness is in the answer of the person you love, which is a very weird phrase. Let me see. Okay, what does it say down here? Okay, this is using, because again, this is an older book, so they're very particular about love can only be romantic, which is weird. Anyways, so I'll do my best to translate. So in its first position, this picture is somewhat negative. This picture is somewhat negative in that it tells you that I don't know, it's very flowery language. Okay, so it tells you that a love relationship, or I'm just going to say relationship, that a relationship depends not only on you being involved, but that the other person is reciprocating. Usually implies that the other person is not aware of the feelings or the relationship and does not feel as passionate about the relationship as you do at the time. And then it goes on to say some weirdly trouble with some things that we're not going to get into. But yeah, this could also be from, we were talking about like emotional healing, like healing in your relationships, even heartbreak over here. So with the heart, and we have Othilla as well. What are you chasing? Sorry, my cat. What are you doing? Are you eating a bug? Gross. Okay. Maybe somebody ate a bug in your life. I don't know. Ugh. It's always nasty when she does. My little hunter. Yeesh. Okay. What was I saying? Sure. Othilla. So Othilla can be property, possessions, inheritance, legacy. It can also be freedom. So in this case, let's see. I'm going to get some cards to clarify because I'm a little murky on this one. Okay, how do I put this into words? I'm tapping these cards because we were talking about like past heartbreaks, like things, processing things that happened in the past, this grief, opening. There's definitely something in your emotional and heart center that, we're talking about the heart chakra here too, that is healing, that is going through a healing process. And because it's going through that healing process, there could be things that come up to be processed. That's unfortunately frequently how it goes. Don't ask me how I know. But as they come up, there could definitely be a sense that in the past, the idea of like love or relationships were transactional, or what's the other term I'm looking for? Not just transactional, but I don't want someone to say like one-sided, but it was like we were talking here like an obligation. You know, whether this is an example is like blood family, where sometimes there can be this idea of like, oh, they're blood family, therefore ABC can be excused. Therefore, this behavior is just accepted. And that's not the case. Yes, that person can be blood, but that does not excuse behavior, especially when it is harmful. And, it's... Yeah, I don't want to say one-sided, because I don't feel like that's... Because one-sided feels like one person is, like, unaware of the relation. Well, they were kind of talking about that, too. So there could have been a one-sided relationship, or it's like you put a lot more effort into a relationship, into a partnership, than the other person was willing to reciprocate. And this could also, come back to here with what happened up here. And it's, it's like, okay. And that can be a lot to process. And those kinds of patterns are difficult to break. But the first step is acknowledgement in like, hey, this is a pattern I have for relationships. This is, this is a pattern that I have. I'm speaking from experience. I'm gonna move this to the middle now. And also I'm gonna look at it with Ingus as well. Ingus is also a very earthy and grounded. With the body over here too. Very earthy energies coming in. And that could be where there was those messages to kind of meditate and really, really just connecting with your heart center, your heart chakra, and like acknowledging the hurts of the past, acknowledging the patterns that led to that, just kind of really processing things. That's a lot to come up in a week. Yeesh. And this could be very much the start of this. It's not like it's happening all in one week. If it is, please take care of yourself. There was definitely messages in here about like self-care. That is a lot to come up even in a week. That's a lot to come up even in a year, let alone a week. So please take care of yourself. That's some big energy. And it could be one of those things that it's kind of triggered or it started by this reveal. This happenstance that happens up here because of this change. It's like as change is kind of occurring, these things are brought up. And it could definitely, big thing could be relationship patterns that's coming up for you. Okay, so we're going to, could be something with, kind of two messages here with the Emperor and the heart, as it were, is like, yes, something perhaps dealing with a father wound or dealing with a masculine presence in your life. Just seeing that, and also the King of Wands down here. So that, it's like, that could be, well, pardon the pun, it could be the heart of the situation you're looking into. But also gaining stability from it, because the Emperor is also a very stable energy. Hi, are you coming over? Oh, is there another bug? Please don't eat it. It's so gross when you do that. Ma'am, you're gonna just sit on the cards? Okay. You're just gonna sit. Alright, so we have the Fool up here. We're gonna get a card for each picture. We have, okay, all majors. Oof. I'm gonna grab this one. Okay, And then we also have the Three of Cups. All right. Oh my goodness. I've been doing this for over an hour. All right, we're going to try to move as swiftly as we can. Number 48. We have the Rooster. Nope, that'll still go. So as we kind of finish this up, I always try to do a little housekeeping, but I guess we're just going to put it right here. But please like, subscribe, share the channel. It's super helpful as we kind of are working to grow our own community here and also serve the community, to do reads like this to kind of help and heal and guide where we can in whatever capacity we can to the community. As well as we also have a membership with Buy Me a Coffee. So we have behind the scenes stuff where we do deck reviews, and I can think, and reads. Oh my god. We do that like 3 times a week over there. It's like $5 a month. So there's also that. Okay, so that's out of the way. Okay, so we have the Rooster. So the Rooster's general meaning is news that wakes you, which is kind of fascinating because we also have the Fool. So this is like something starting. Again, the Fool is the first of the major arcana. It is that leap of faith. It's like news. In its first position, it's soon you will hear good news. So this is good news that kind of, I almost feel like, is a catalyst, kind of jump starts things, ma'am. Why are you like this? Could you not on the book? I was reading that. Hi. Yes. Hello. And then also with Ingus. This is, I feel, something very much connected with your work. Very earthy energy again. Something that is growing because of your efforts. So, all right. We're going to do our best because somebody is sitting on our book. So I can't change the pages. So we're going to go with as much as the general meanings as we can remember. Or are you getting nice and comfy? Okay. Are you done? Are you nice and comfy now? Okay. Glad I can help. So the lily is about faithfulness of all things as well. Because we were absolutely talking about some pretty heavy emotions and processing from past wounds. So it's interesting that the lily comes up as well with Ingus, because Ingus is kind of for these last 3 as well. And Judgment. Something within this week is going to be a wake-up call. But because of this wake-up call, because it's kind of like, again, this news that wakes you. There's this news, a wake-up call. And again, a wake-up call like with your calling. Oh, we're just settled in now. Okay. She's now draped over my arms. I am trapped. Okay. You're very warm. It is very cold outside. It's interesting here we also have the kitty cat. And she's decided to come over here and sit with us at this very last card. So I have a feeling with everything happening this week for you, take comfort in the small things. Take moments to be still and quiet if you have a little fur baby or a scaly baby or, any little creature that you have that attachment with. Take moments with them. Take moments with them. Yeah. That could be important. Is that what you wanted to say? I forgot what I was saying. The lily. Because the lily can also be that faithfulness, like those friends and those chosen family, and sometimes even blood family, just those people around you that are with you no matter what. Because Judgment in the traditional deck, I'm thinking of like, I almost said like to the end of the world. Because Judgment in the traditional Rider-Waite is the like Judgment Day. You know, the end of things. It's like these are people who see your calling. They see the path you're walking on, and they're going to walk with you. So with the cat here, in this deck, the cat here is kind of cattiness, if you will. I get the sense that whatever is happening in this person or situation, again, I cannot move, I will upset the child. But especially with this stuff, I feel like that could be happening at the beginning of the week with our horse and the dagger up at the top. Ooh, excuse me. Confirmation burp. The things that are going to ground you in this, and we were just talking about kind of friends here, we have the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is community. It is the people who surround you. There's definitely like part of this was unfortunately necessary to kind of, I want to say almost weed out the people who don't have your best intentions at heart. You know, the people who, for whatever reason, which is a reflection on them, not you, for whatever reason, you know, see your success or see your movement forward as a means to their own end. Not to celebrate you, but it's just like, I'm owed some of that just because I'm in that person's presence, therefore they owe me, or I don't know. Again, example. Weird example, but that could be relevant for someone. But you are going to be surrounded. And again, there's this, the Dipper, a constellation here. I can't hold it up to the camera because somebody's laying on my arms. But it looks like one of the Dippers, and it's a little drinking gourd. It's like the 4 big bright stars, little handle. But I think it's a Big Dipper. It's either Big Dipper or Little Dipper. But the handle is like the North Star. It's above the North Pole, so it always points north. And I have a feeling like these people are going to be your guiding star. They're going to be the people who are walking this path with you and walking with you in authenticity. Yeah. Okay. So that, can I move my arm? Ma'am? Oh, we put our chin down. Oh no, we are cat furniture now. I am trapped. Alright, I'm going to move this arm at least. But at the listen to me, the bottom of the deck, we have the Lovers. So some big energy coming in here. The Lovers also, again, is kind of emphasizing what we talked about with relationships. And also the Lovers ultimately is about choice. 2 entities deciding to come together, if you will. But ultimately, it is their choice. How you move forward and who you move forward with, and with what intentions you move, is ultimately going to be your choice. And that's not to say to like intimidate or to scare in any capacity. It's just to remind you that you always have free will. And there's, I just got the phrase, there's always room for improv. I mean, yes, I love improv, but there's always room to find new connections if one connection is not working for you. So, all right, so I'm going to attempt to move with this one, but that is your read for the week ahead. So yeah, just as a reminder, Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm always curious about what people are thinking about this. And again, you never have to share. Oh, did we hear a bug? I think there's another bug in the room. Please don't eat it. Don't do it. You know, or maybe bug hunting is necessary. Who knows? Take that as you will. All right. I am going to leave y'all here with the week ahead. Miss Midnight sends you lots of love. Lots of love this week. Please take care of yourself. This seems like, it's just fur everywhere. It seems like this is going to be a little bit of a ride emotionally, but know that you are going to get through it. Know that you are supported both in the physical realm and in the spiritual realm. You have support on all sides. You do. All right, so until next time, stay safe, take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. And remember that I love you. And so does Miss Midnight. All right, bye-bye.